This stuff. What's good, everybody? So tonight we got the legendary crypto call with my guy Gibbs for the new people that's just hopping on. Gibbs is a good friend of mine. He's been telling me, as I tell this story again, last year he was telling me to buy this specific coin, XRP, and him and I did another podcast with another gentleman, Peter. And they've been telling me, buy XRP, buy XRP, buy XRP. So you know, to make a long story short, the bank was telling me to do an investment with the bank. I pulled out of that investment and put the money into XRP. Within 2 months, that XRP 6x. So just think of that, 13,000 times six, and within a short time frame. So that's why I think these crypto calls are important. So you guys, and can y'all mute your mic? Kendall. I don't know where you guys are with your crypto journey, but it's extremely important to get into this asset now. This is still really fairly new compared to forever. So just think about that. Over the last 15 years, this been going on. So we are still in the beginning stages. So this is why it's important that we have these calls on a bi-weekly basis. So it's like ingrained in your head that I need to buy these coins now. I need to prepare for my future now. It's not about just what's coming in. It's what you could keep. It's what you could grow. So it's important that we have these conversations and discussions. And, if you guys learn something, chime in. Give us some news. I'm always willing to learn something as well. All right. Also, for the new people that is popping in, Gibbs, he just posted his course. It's $7. You guys could get that in the comment section and learn like the beginning, the basics that we probably don't go over on these calls. All right. So what's good, bro? Any new updates with the market?
Man, I think like we recently just seen uh Bitcoin touch 110, so it's just been just touching 110 back and forth, back and forth. Like it seemed like it can't break like that resistance. I mean, it has a little bit. Like I think it went to 111, almost
It
112.
did is it did an all-time high.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, hell yeah. So it's just like I think it's like not necessarily 110, but it's like not want to break that resistance of 112. But I mean, usually, man, like situations like that where it's consolidating, like as you know, you might either just see a short little pullback, like where we at, like right now with 105, or we might see, um, a higher all-time high, probably going up to 115. But it's like it's just smacking that 110, that 112 area every single time. But as far as like news itself, man,
No,
like
before you get on to that, because since you're on the topic of Bitcoin,
hmm
honestly, when Bitcoin goes down, y'all, I'm happy. When Bitcoin goes up, I'm happy. And the reason why is when it goes down, it just allows me to buy more Satoshis. So as I've been telling you guys, fractions of a Bitcoin is called Satoshis. So just think of $1 compared to 100 pennies, right? So for every one Bitcoin is 100 million Satoshis. So my goal for each one of you guys is to get to 1 million Satoshis, because one day that million Satoshis is going to be worth a lot of money. All right. So the reason why I think that it's going to pop very, very soon and shoot up is because of all these institution adoptions, bro. These people, BlackRock, MicroStrategy, GameStop, they're buying 200 like million worth on a daily basis right now. So with the supply, it goes back to what I told you guys on the last call. When you think of supply and demand, the supply is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. there's less Bitcoin to buy on these exchanges now. When these big companies and these whales of capital are buying a specific asset, the price is going to shoot up very soon. So it's important that you guys start buying $1, $10 worth now, because when you think of Satoshis, you are really buying. So for every dollar, like 900 Satoshis, every $10, 10,000 Satoshis, every $20. So when you start thinking like that, me personally, right now, for every one Satoshi, I think it should be worth, you should be getting, so for every one, you should be getting $900 back. But right now, it's on the flip side. So we are getting into this very, very early. So it's important that you guys start like really just buying. Even if you don't have that full 100% conviction right now, just buy a dollar a day. I'm gonna drill that in your head, because when you start thinking long term, you really buying 10,000, 20,000 for your future. But you could hop on and talk about the other coins as well. Cause I've been seeing you post some other coins.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I mean, like right now, like I'm working on like a module right now, really talking about owning a piece of the new financial system because like you said, like with XRP, there's multiple different coins that's gonna play a factor in different sectors of like the financial system where we're tokenizing real estate, we're tokenizing commodities, we're tokenizing US treasuries, we're tokenizing so much. So there's like different companies and there's different cryptocurrencies for these different types of tokenization. So I mean, some of it, like I mentioned, like XRP, XLM. There's like new coins as well that I discovered just within our own personal friend groups. The Zbeck network, man, it's so much. Stronghold, Velo. I mean, there's so many coins that's undervalued right now.
And
That
what price of these coins are at?
Let's go see. One
Can
of
you
them.
share your screen?
Oh yeah, definitely. Here, 1 second.
Because I feel like, oh my bad.
You good?
I feel like this is just as important too. When I tell you guys Bitcoin is a long-term play, right? That should be your savings account. Now, these coins that he's mentioning, these are investments. So when you think of Bitcoin, like for example, with me, I took that money out of XRP. Well, not all of it, but I took a couple thousand and was able to buy a Bitcoin with that at that time when Bitcoin was at that price. So I took my investment and put that investment in my savings account, which is Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, just think of that. Your savings account, all these other coins are investments.
Mm, that's a good way to put it. I mean, like I said, I think like that's a good way. That's a good strategy to use. Like the way he looks at Bitcoin as his as his savings account, I look at XRP as my savings account for sure, for sure, for sure. But the reason, honestly, in my opinion, there's both of them are win-win because we're going to reach a point here. I mean, actually, no, no, no. We already reached a point where we can take out loans against our assets like Bitcoin and XRP and never have to sell it, but still be able to have access to liquidity or access to money without selling our cryptocurrency. Then we can use that money or that loan towards, I mean, anything that we want to do. So so that's
And
why no, go ahead.
not to cut you off, but that's super important too. Because to me, there is no right or wrong. It's
Mm-mm.
a win-win. And when he says you could borrow against the asset, that's important too, because you still want to hold your money in the strongest asset. You want to hold your money in assets. You want to spend the weaker currency, which is the US dollar. So, like what I tell you guys, you spend in credit and you save in Bitcoin. And then when you paying off that credit, that's when you could possibly sell portions of XRP or Bitcoin. But you want to hold your money there because it goes back to what I tell you guys before. There's a 10-day window in this crypto space, right? Just like when XRP went up, it was a 10-day window that I caught because I guess I timed the market. I bought it at the right time. Gibbs told me at the right time, and I took that leap of faith. And in that 10-day window, prices shot up. So for all these different coins, there's a 10-day window where each like year or each cycle that the prices shoot up. So for 2025, we are in that cycle where Bitcoin and these other coins prices are going to shoot up. But you don't know when that 10-day window is. So that's why I tell you guys, it goes back to what I tell you with land. Time in the market is more important than timing the market. I hope that makes sense to y'all. Like putting your money where your mouth is more important than just holding your money in the bank and losing. That's what they want us to do. And I'm telling you, it's scary because I had to liquidate a lot of funds from the bank. Bank calling me up like, "Excuse me, Mr. Brian, like? What's going on? What are you buying?" I don't worry about it. Click like to be honest, because you have to take that. I'm gonna say take a leap of faith, but to me, it's not even faith, bro. It's getting out of what we were taught, that prison or that mind state that we have to save in the bank. But I don't wanna, you know, keep going on. But you got it, bro.
Man, so I'm a no, that's for real. Like, man, never tell these banks what you're doing, man. They want to scare you away, you know what I'm saying? Because behind the scenes, they're actually buying cryptocurrency, and that's a proven fact, you know. But
Mm.
I'm gonna use my come up story with this coin right here. This coin right now is sitting at 1 cent, which in reality, if you put in $1,000 for this one coin, you're going to get back 100,000 coins. So if you put in 5,000, you get 500,000. Even put in 10,000, you get 1,000,000 coins. At a point of time back in 2021, this coin was actually around this same time was around the time when I made six figures in 1 week. This coin was at $1.63. His all-time high was $1.80. So if you take that times that by 1,000,000 coins, your $10,000 investment is going to be way over 1,000,000. You know, so I mean, and this coin right here, this deals with the payment systems. As you guys can see here, Velo Labs is building a unique federated credit exchange network, which is a blockchain financial protocol enabling digital credit. And so this is like, coin projects like this is where you don't want to shy away from. You don't necessarily, when you look, and even if you go on their website, because I know for a fact they have a website. I mean, you can even come right here, go to their website, and you can learn all about it. You can go to their white paper. You can learn what's really going on. You can see who's part of their board, things like that, their mission, what is it that they're trying to achieve, things of that nature. So this is just one, like I mentioned, this is literally just one example of like the type of way where you need to own a piece of the new financial system. This is practically talking about how they're making digital credit. You get what I mean? So, like I said, this coin is literally sitting at 1 cent. And I mean, granted, even if we come right here to see where this coin is available on, these coins is available on. I mean, these are the different exchanges. Of course, they're not just like Coinbase or Binance. You have to make an account with some of these exchanges to buy the coin. I mean, let me see. I think I have an account with who is it? If I'm not mistaken, I think it's
You know what I think most people fear
Well,
is losing money in the technicality of things.
yeah, and I mean, it's don't get me wrong, it's possible to do it if you don't know what you're doing. It's a big chance. And that's why I like even I'm not even trying to upsell this course, but even in the course that I made, I teach you how to send your cryptocurrency from wallet to wallet, using like the wallet addresses. So even if you are sending money, let's just say for example, if you had an account with Bybit, the exchange, if you know, let's just say you're sending Bitcoin from Coinbase to Bybit just to be able to buy this coin. You will sell Bitcoin on Bybit just to be able to buy, Velo, however you want to pronounce it. But yeah, yeah, a lot of people get afraid of the technicality of it, but it's just like when you think of it like every single cryptocurrency has its because every single cryptocurrency is really based on its own blockchain. So every blockchain is practically going to have its own different unique wallet address that is made for just you. Then it's just like, okay, now that makes sense. And I mean, you can't nobody have access to your wallet per se because it's just an address. So I mean, me and you both know, addresses. I mean, wallets are based on like seed phrases and stuff like that. But
And a lot of this that we're mentioning, it's important to, really study that part of it too. So because once I felt like I was confident in sending my money to different wallets, taking it off the exchanges, putting it in a cold storage, that's when I started buying more.
right.
Because now I'm like, okay, now I know how to protect myself as well to where I have self custody. Because that's what makes crypto important, y'all. It's the self custody, the decentralization of it as well. Like right now, we trust way too much into the banks because we'll give them, we'll store our money from the paychecks there, and they invest in your money right away. Your money is just in the screen. So when you open up your bank account, that's just a number that they put there. So with crypto, it is that fear too of having self custody, but I feel like that's where we're slowly going to. And it's important that we get in early, y'all. Like y'all was supposed to get in tomorrow. So don't wait I mean yesterday. So don't wait till tomorrow. Get in now. Even
And
you buy $1 of Bitcoin, you are an investor. I need
literally,
y'all to start thinking like that. Put your mindset in the mindset of an investor. Like you get a dollar, you buying $1 a day. You could tell, yo, I'm a Bitcoin investor. No matter how small or how big, you're still adding to the network that's going to be the future. That dollar is going to be worth a lot more if you don't touch it in 10, 15 years. Most of us, we're thinking, a year. Some of us is thinking a month. Some of us is waiting until the weekend. Like, nah, we got to start thinking for generations. So this is why I even added this section into the academy because I saw what crypto did to my life. You know, making my first six figures in crypto and I didn't have to work for it, just putting money into it. That's a different type of mindset. Like, I don't want to just have to work to make my money. And I don't want y'all to do that either. Cause then we'll be working for the rest of our lives. That's not my goal. I don't know about y'all, but that's not my life. That's not my trajectory. And I need y'all to start adapting those same habits now. And it starts with $1, 50 cent, 10 cent. Like investing in the markets every single day. And then once you start investing, you start learning. Once you start learning, you gain more conviction. And then that's when you start, oh, I'm having more money in this than I have in the bank. Like that's really where you should be at. You should have more soldiers, more dollars working for you than chilling. So if every dollar is a soldier, you should have that working. It's a slave. If it's just chilling in the bank, y'all, it's literally melting away. It's chilling, it's lazy, it's broke. Like, no, get it out the bank and put that money to work.
Man, seriously. Because I mean, like I said, like E's been saying, um, there's nothing wrong with having. I mean, there's nothing necessarily wrong with having a savings account. If you even a high yield saving account, that's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, you got to look at cryptocurrency as like the dot com bubble, like the dot com boom. Like, I mean, like I mentioned it before, I was born in 98. So I mean I was 1, 2 years old, 3 years old when it was going down. And back in the day there was no social media to where people can be on Twitter talking about, what's going on. There was no Discord, there wasn't Telegram groups, there wasn't like groups like this wasn't necessarily a thing back in those times to where people can just come together. You have to really know somebody that probably know somebody that probably knows somebody that knows this type of information, back in those days. So now where it's so easy to really communicate with people and really socialize with people and talk about, different stuff like this, these investment opportunities is like it's so easy for people to become. I'm not even gonna say rich because I mean people can turn $1,000 to $100,000 or even just 5,000, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 to millions. So I mean people can get rich, people can make their first 100,000, people can make 50,000. It's the easiest way, because not only is it just us retail investors, you have institutional investors. You got people like MicroStrategy, you got people like BlackRock, you got people all these big institutions that's wanting to create crypto type ETFs, so that's why it's such a very exciting moment in time because we're still I mean this is still new, not necessarily new, we're still early, but at the same time there's a lot of opportunity to make a lot of money in such a quick time. Because I mean, shit, excuse my language, but I mean, back in 2020, bro, Bitcoin was just 9,000, and I remember it vividly. Bitcoin was 5,000. You know what I mean? This is August of 2020, damn near. I mean, we can go, we can
Just think about
go
how fast that time happened.
9,000 literally, and 9, 10,000 barely in August. You know what I mean? And I mean, let's just go when COVID first hit. Shit, that shit. Hold on. Excuse my language, y'all. 5,000.
That means point 0.1 Bitcoin is $500 at that time. Y'all don't understand. Point 0.1 Bitcoin right now is 10,000. One day, point 0.1 Bitcoin will be 100,000. One day, point 0.1 Bitcoin will be 1 million. One day, point 0.1 Bitcoin will be 10 million, y'all. If you a millennial or younger and you listening to this, I gotta
That's
be
yeah.
careful what I say.
Nah,
If
go
you a
ahead.
millennial and you and younger and you listening to this, you need to take this extremely serious. Because my goal is to retire as soon as possible, right? This is our key. So the goal is to make as much money as you can from multiple different streams, however you have to do it, and put into these markets and just let it grow. You'll be making more money through the markets. Your money will be making more money than you. That's the goal, where you're working just to work, just to put more in the pot, but your money is making way more money than you. So we really, and it goes back to what Gibbs was saying about the older generations. They didn't really have that opportunity. They didn't have the internet like how we have. So we really got the cheat code even with this group. For $65 a month, you're learning about something that could change your whole family's trajectory,
With ease.
generations. Because even in a small amount, let's say, let's say you put $1,000 in Bitcoin right now, and you have a kid, 1 years old, and you don't touch that thousand until that kid or that baby is 20 years old, I bet you that 1,000 is gonna be 1 million plus. And that's just off of 1,000, y'all. So imagine if you put in $20, you dollar cost averaging in, right? $10 a day, or $10 a week, or $10 a month, whatever that looks like for you. Over time, it's gonna grow, grow, grow. Now, if you start to make more money, if you start to, let's say land flipping starts working for you, you start making 6 figures land flipping, you put in 10, 20, 30% of that cash that you got into this asset or XRP, and it grows, like you'll be doubling, tripling, quadrupling your money. And it's not just off of what you're working for. That I feel like that's what was programmed to us. We had to work for our money. We had to, get a job. We had to, like, no, we have to work to invest and then just keep doing that cycle until we could pay our bills off of our investments. So every one of us could become an investor right now, today. Download Coinbase and start buying $1 a day. Learning about this market, learning how to take your money off the exchange and put it into a cold storage. Because right now, like with me, and this is how I have it set up, right? In my future, I want 2 kids. I have 0 kids right now. So I already have two cold storage wallets that I put a small amount into every week. Every week. One on this wallet, one on this wallet, right? And I'm not going to touch it. When my kids get to 18, 20 years old, here and free. That's the goal, y'all. That's the goal. So start buying these now. And I know there's a lot of things we could show you in terms of like, just dollar cost averaging in. Like for example, just 4 years ago, it would take like what, 200 Bitcoin to buy a house. Now it takes 4 Bitcoin, maybe less. Just think about 4 years from now. How much Bitcoin you think is going to be to buy a house? It's going to be like zero point 0.1 Bitcoin, zero point 0.2. Just think 4 years from now, from that time, 0.01 to buy a house with a Bitcoin. So I just want to be able to see y'all 10 years later and we all retired off of this one niche. Because Bitcoin to me is the end goal. I know we say diversification, but to me, why would I sell my winner for a loser? Right? I'm gonna say that one more time. Because that probably went over your heads. Why would I sell my winner for a loser? If these coins is going up 60, 70% a year annually, why would I buy the S&P 500? Why would I buy certain stocks? Why would I sell the money I have for a loser? So that's how I think about diversification. I mean, like I could give y'all an example. There's land that I bought for $8,000 back in 2020, 2021. Y'all saw the prices of Bitcoin. I could have bought a whole Bitcoin. I'm selling that land and I'm getting 20,000 off of 8.
Let's go ahead and remind them, y'all.
Come on. Come on.
You remember what month you bought it in?
I bought a couple in 2021, so it was all around that time. But even 2020, like I didn't have the knowledge. I was making money in 2020. That first year I was doing just flipping houses. I was flipping the houses in Indiana virtually. I was driving for dollars, getting deals, cold calling for deals. I had some change, but My mindset, I was ignorant. I was ignorant at that time. I I wanted to see 100K in my bank account. So I didn't start buying assets when I was getting money. I was just stacking in the account, but I didn't know, you know. I didn't know about investments. I started learning about investments by watching other people. Like I tell you that story. I had a homegirl. I met her when I first came out here at a real estate event in Tampa, Florida. Moving from New York to Tampa, you know, I'm broke, door dashing, and I'm around all these people. We build good rapport. Now we networking, and she's telling me, she was like, "Yo, buy this coin." I'm like, "Coin? What are you talking about?" Like, she's like, "This cryptocurrency." I'm like, "That's a scam. I don't want that." She was like, "Nah, listen, listen, listen. My boyfriend, he bought me $30 of this coin." At the time, when she showed me her account, it was 30,000. She said she bought $30 of this coin and it went to 30,000 within a short amount of time. All right. So sort of like Gibbs' story. If you guys watch that podcast, he explains his story. So I'm like, even at that time, I'm thinking it's fake. Like $30 to 30,000, that's kind of OD. Uh, so I'm like, nah, 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 nah. So I'm still closing houses, boom, 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 stacking my money, stacking my money, stacking my money. She didn't close not one real estate deal. She was still trying to work it, but sometimes real estate don't work for everybody, right? In the beginning of 2021, she showed me her account and it said 230,000 and maybe a little bit more than that. And I remember like I had to cold call all day, reach out to sellers, follow up. I had to show houses that I would have driving for dollars out here. I would have to show buyers the houses. I would have to, get back and cold call soon I show a buyer off of, an inspection. And she made damn near the same amount of money I made. And I was grinding that whole year. And at that moment, I was like, I have to become an investor. Because if I just work, what if something happens to me? What if, God forbid, a car accident or something, right? I can't make money then. So that's why it's important that we learn this investing now, especially if you're a millennial or younger. We really got it. We should be thanking the older generation because now we got it extremely easy. We could make money online and we could buy investments online. So we can't pass up on these opportunities. You can't just hear this and let it go out the other ear, y'all. Y'all can't just not see this and not want to, partake in these financial markets because time is gonna pass by anyway. We all gonna get 10 years older, right? And certain people, and let's be honest, right? Let's keep it a stat. Certain people's not gonna invest. They not gonna take that step. And then we're going to see 10 years down the road how each one of us is living based off of the choices we made today. So start investing today. And I'm going to start saying this every call, even when we're talking about land, because I know if I say it every time, eventually one of y'all going to be like, you know what? I'm going to download Coinbase. They talking about this tokens too much, these coins. And then y'all gonna get into the markets, and then eventually you pass it down to your kids or nephews or uncles, aunts. Like I said, I got my whole family buying cryptocurrency. My mom bought point 0.1 Bitcoin when it was at 70,000. Look at that price now. She calling me like, "Oh my God, if I'd have just kept this in the bank, I wish I would have bought more." Like, come on. And I bet you we're gonna have this conversation at the end of this year. Look at that price right now, 105. Look at that price right now. By the end of this year, that price is not gonna look like that. And everybody that bought was in the green because they got it in at 105. So Question: if you have an extra 100K to invest, how much you put into Bitcoin? Are you asking me or him? Word, that's why you put that me on. You could go first, bro.
No, I'm gonna let you have that one. Go ahead. You got it.
If I had 100K right now, me personally, I'm putting 100K in Bitcoin, bro. Reason why I'm doing that is because there's a couple reasons. But one of the main reasons is because if you have, let's say, there's 21, and this is, yo, that was a great question, bro.
Nah, that was
There's
hard.
21 million Bitcoins available. Think about it. When people were buying that, when it was at 10 cent, 20 cent, a lot of those people, they already cashed out, or a lot of people lost their Bitcoin. So technically, there's probably only 16 million circulating right now. How many millionaires are there globally? How many billionaires are there globally? Globally, each millionaire cannot have one Bitcoin right now. And each year, that's going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. So, because of scarcity, I think holding one Bitcoin is going to be extremely legendary in the future. Like, if you have one Bitcoin, you could go into any bank, you could go into any car dealership, you could go into anywhere because of that one Bitcoin and get a loan, get credit. Like, I feel like one Bitcoin is legendary. So if I have the choice to buy one Bitcoin right now, if I had an extra 100K, I'm buying it. And then also that's going to get you 100 million Satoshis. So remember what I told you guys. If Bitcoin goes up at the same percentage as it's done for the last 16 years, for the next 16 years, if it goes up the same percentage per year annually, in 15 years, $1 will equal one Satoshi. When $1 equals one Satoshi, y'all, when we get to that point and you have one Bitcoin, that means you have $100 million. So I need y'all to understand, like every Satoshi you buy right now is buying you time in the future. When I buy Bitcoin, whether it's $1, 100, 1,000, or 10,000, or 100,000, because I bought each. I experienced every single purchase. I am extremely happy because that means I just bought back time. I just bought 5 years worth of salary in the future. This is how I be thinking. I don't know if I'm a little delusional, but I believe, and it goes back to what I told you guys before, I don't want to go where the puck is right now. I want to go where the puck is going. My whole entrepreneur journey was through pivots. I started off with houses. I started off at houses in different locations. It didn't work in this location. I moved to this location. It didn't work here. I moved to Florida. Got it working in Florida. Then I see the market dry up. I get into land. Then I'm starting to land virtually. Then I'm starting to teach. Then I'm starting to do this, then this, then this. So you got to always go where the next play is while still staying grounded in the moment. So that's why I need to tell you guys, like, you want to start thinking well off in the future because that time is going to come. Now, still live in the moment, still enjoy the moment, enjoy what you're doing, but start preparing yourself like, all right, I don't want to work when I'm 50 years old. So now I need to accumulate this amount of Bitcoin so now that I can retire at this point. If you want to stop working if you're younger and you want to stop working at 30, like this is what you should be buying now. So by the time you're 30, if you let's say you're 20 and you in 10 years and you could get to that point one Bitcoin, that point one Bitcoin might be your startup for your multi-million dollar business in the future because it's always going to grow because of scarcity and supply and demand. So that's what I would do. I think I went over the time limit. My bad. But what you would do, bro?
I was man, $100,000, bro. I would definitely take 50% of that and put in the XRP for sure. 50,000 of that in XRP. Then the other 50, I would break it all the way down as far as I wouldn't take 10,000 and put it into five different projects. I'd probably do maybe about 50,000 XRP, maybe 10,000 into XLM. Then from there, that leaves me with about 40,000. I will all put those in different coins as far as like the ones that's going to be part of the financial system, AI, and gaming. Then, bro, from there, it's just like that 100,000 can would be something dangerous. I ain't gonna lie.
That
But
would.
yeah,
That would. You know
that'd be
what's crazy, bro? I
what?
I gotta I don't know how to convert you. Cause I don't wanna, we could talk more about this offline, but
Uh-huh.
I don't want to go in the future and be like, dang, I told you so.
Let
But
me.
I feel you on that too. I feel like XRP, regardless which one ever goes up more, they're both to me still gonna go up. So,
Like
like you
something
said, it's
crazy.
a win.
Yeah, like I definitely feel like I think honestly like when I think about it, I think about percentage wise, like because you gotta think like let's say for example you get 100, you got 100,000, you get a whole Bitcoin, it goes up to 1 million. Cool. That percentage is what? That's a 10x
That's a 10x.
compared to like if you did XRP, let's say you did XRP now, you know what I'm saying, just 50,000 XRP. I mean that gives you about what? I can't even think the exact. Let's just say it gives you about 30,000 coins. And then from there, bro, like from XRP goes up to even, let's just say ten bucks, even though it's gonna go way higher. Oh, bro. I mean, then you gotta think about all the other
Let me
coins.
share my screen real quick.
Go ahead. Hold on 1 second.
I hope y'all appreciating this game giving right now. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie. If I was watching, I'm buying some. I'm
Man,
buying some right now.
this
I don't
is
even care what y'all. What? $10. I need $10 worth. I need 10,000 satoshis. Remember, y'all, the goal is to get to 1 million satoshis. So, how many? How much USD is it to get to? And I'm probably wording this wrong, but 1 million satoshis. Probably could have worded that better. But so point one 30,000. So one about 300 USD. If you got 300 right now, get to 1 million, and only if you got it, right? If doing good, because I don't want you to invest and feel like you're thinking about that 300. If you could buy 1 million satoshis and not think about it, I'm telling you, this is the goal right now. Now, if you got more, get to 10 million. If you got more, get to 20, 30 million. One day in the near future, if it goes up for the next 15 years, the same percentage is done. And that can happen. It's possible. It's a reality out there that really happened in that time frame. But even if it doesn't happen in 15 years, what about 20 years from now? We're all going to be, especially millennials and younger, if we're alive, we're going to be alive at that time. Why not prepare for it now before everybody else? we're all gonna have Bitcoin at one day. Why not get to it 20 years before everybody else? So that's why it's important to get to that $1 million Satoshis, which is only $300. So yeah. Now in terms of XRP, what you said with the 50,000, how much
Yeah,
XRP will 50,000 USD get you? That's 225 USD. With 50,000 USD, you could purchase 22,222. I like that number too. Please,
yes,
transaction fees as well. And now let's say XRP goes to $10 now, right? With
hmm
22,000 XRP right now, how much USD? Wait, how do am I wording this right? How much USD if it goes to if how much USD would you have if it goes to $10
per coin.
if XRP goes to, let me be specific.
Mind you, that's one coin. That's
Ooh.
one. That's just one coin. You know what I'm saying? At one coin, you turn 50,000. You practically what? You turn 50 to almost a quarter million. You know what I'm saying? That's just one coin. You still got a whole other $50,000 worth of other different coins. You feel me? So it all depends.
I like that.
Like for example, like let's just say you did 10,000 and that coin I just showed Velo, and that
Yeah.
coins and that it went back to the all-time high. That's 1.6 million, 1.8 million.
So what you're saying is right now, right?
Hmm.
Velo is under its all-time high.
Oh shit. But yeah, hell yeah. It's sitting at 1 cent. So 1,000 into Velo is gonna give you 100,000 coins. 10,000 into Velo is gonna give you 1 million coins. So if that goes from 1 cent back to its all-time high at $1.80, that's 1.8. Let's just say you got 10,000 invested. That's 1.8 million right there.
What utility Velo holds?
It's the one like where it deals with like credit. So it's
What difference would it do? What difference does Velo? Man, I'm asking. What difference does what's it called? Velo
VE, yeah, VELO.
do compared to regular credit? Should I put that?
Yeah, you can do that. I like that.
You got the answer before I hit down?
I'm gonna let ChatGPT do its thing, man.
Put it to work, right? Put it to work. Great question. Here's a breakdown of how Velo differs from regular credit, like credit cards or traditional loans. What is Velo? Velo is a blockchain-based platform aiming to improve how businesses and individuals transact by using digital currencies and decentralized finance technology. Velo's focus is often on enabling fast, secure, and low-cost cross-border payments and credit. So fast, secure, and low cost cross-border payments and credit blockchain. Key difference between Velo and regular credit. Uses blockchain and smart contracts traditional banking system. Near instant transactions and settlements could take days or weeks for processing. Typically lower fees due to decentralized network. Higher fees, interest rates, and hidden charges. Ooh. Often more accessible globally, especially in undeserved regions. Requires good credit history, formal banking relationships, transparent transactions on public ledger. Credit terms and fees can opaque. Can use decentralized on or alternative data sources. Credit scores based on financial history. Very efficient and cheap. Expensive and slow. Secured by cryptography and decentralized networks. Risk of fraud, both ensured by banks and credit companies.
And it's sitting at 1 cent. If I was you, I'd ask if you have a million Velo coins, what would the price be? What would be the price in USD if the price of Velo went back to its all-time high?
I like that question. So oh, I like that question. If you have, man, a lot of y'all too, build your social media up right now. And I know this is a little bit off topic, but it's important to build it up now because, like I told you guys, that 14-day free trial included in your affiliate link. A lot of this stuff right now, you could be posting what we doing, right? You know, taking little story clippets, posting your link for the 14-day free trial and getting more people in. Because not only is this good information that can help the next person, but it also can help you make passive income as well, right? We have land, but we're not just land flippers. Like, I'm not just like when people ask me, what do you do? I say I'm an entrepreneur before anything. I'm not just one thing. I make money 10 different ways. And I need y'all to start thinking like that now because it started small for me too. But if you keep watering it just like a plant, it eventually grows into bigger. And now it's paying bills. Now it's buying assets. All right. So if you have a million velo, right? What's the question? If you have a million velo
Velos, probably Velo tokens. How much? What is? Shit.
and
Well,
it goes to
I guess you
and
could
it goes
say, uh,
back to its all-time high,
yeah. How much would that be in USD?
how much would that be in USD? Come on, don't do that. My- Damn. We approximately 2.2 mil. How much is a Velo token? How much would a million Velo tokens would be right now? $1,000?
10,000.
How much?
10,000.
10,000?
Yeah,
Let me borrow 10,000, bro.
that's I pay my rent yet, man.
Word.
And real like this is just one coin.
Thank you for reminding me.
See, like, this is one coin, y'all. Like that's
Damn.
if it goes back to its all-time high. And it's sitting at 1 cent right now. But another thing that I want y'all to understand is that like a lot of people will be like, if its all-time high was according to ChatGPT was $2.29, why did it fall all the way down to 1 cent? If you first of all, things like that happen to where I think it reaches all-time high back in 2021. If you look at the market cap, I think when I read it, it was almost $100 million. If if a cryptocurrency has a market cap that is that high, it's a great chance that that's not going to go anywhere. Granted, there has been cryptocurrencies that literally had a high market cap and they fell all the way down. Actually, I'm not. I'm gonna say the real world. The real word. It fell all the way the fuck down and to less than a penny. Went from $100 all the way less than a penny. So I mean, yeah, it can happen. Definitely can happen. But also, whenever a cryptocurrency has real utility, It's not gonna go nowhere, and it has a huge market cap. Even though, granted, $100 million isn't as much in the cryptocurrency market, but still, you gotta think about it. $100 million is a lot of money, so it's still room to grow, but also it's still a lot of money that I just me personally can't see being taken away out of this project, and of course being taken away out of the market as well. So that's just my 2 cents about that for anybody that was wondering.
Yeah, so it's important to, and even having like gives us access to us is important too, y'all. Like, you know, whatever you got to do, even if you got to book him for a one-on-one call to see how you could buy, let's say, $10 worth of this or $100, because you don't need the 10,000 to make a huge return. Like if 10,000 could go to 2.2 million, imagine what 1,000 could do. It's not going to be the same, but it's still going to be a huge growth. So, like I tell you guys, Bitcoin is your savings account, right? If you want a safe investment, put your money in that, see it grow long term. But you also want to take some risk and invest into these other coins that have utility. So this is one, as ChatGPT told us, that is way better than credit. So if they could possibly get this going and make this regulated, and now it's on Coinbase per se, imagine what price it's going to be at. So a lot of times this do be a waiting game because there's a lot going behind the scenes. They're, working things out. There's cases, there's all different things we don't know about. But it goes back to what I told you guys. Time in the market is more important than timing the market. So start having little bits of pieces of money into these different coins. Learn about it now, right? Learn about it now while you're the youngest you will ever be. So your future is way better, easier, smoother, and you could pass the knowledge down. I think that's probably the best thing about having knowledge. Like me telling you guys this, honestly, it brings me great joy because the ones that do invest 10 years from now might learn this from me, right? And then from that point, while they're living a whole different lifestyle, they could always tell the next person, like, I got this from investing $65 in the community 10 years ago. They was preaching this every other Tuesday. They showed so much conviction that it made me jump over the ledge and start investing. Now I'm making six figures a year just from investing 2025, y'all. 5 years go by so fast. 2020, I was broke. The beginning of 2020, I was broke. And within 5 years, that can happen. So I feel like it can happen for everybody. But we just have to take it serious and one step at a time. You don't have to figure it all out in one day after one call. Nah, this is just to put that idea, plant the seed in your mind. So now you have to water it. You get the idea, you get the information. What do you do with it? Do you just let it go one ear out the other, or do you take action? Do you tell the next person? Do you share it? Because a lot of times, what I told y'all, even with land, when you start teaching it, right? When you start helping the next person, you really kind of learning as well. So when you teach, you actually are speaking it yourself. You're gaining more conviction yourself. So this is good. I'm glad we, had this call tonight. I'm glad a lot of you new people. I hope you guys invest into Coinbase, which is the exchange, and start buying $1 a day of Bitcoin, right? And if you haven't, and you heard me say that multiple times, start doing it now. Like, don't wait, because that Bitcoin price might go up to 200K. Remember, that 10-day window could happen at any point. When that happens, I'm gonna let y'all know. Like, damn, I waited too late. But even when it goes to that high price, we still at a good price. because now you're thinking 5 years from the future from then. So we'll leave it at that tonight. I appreciate y'all. Tomorrow we have the REI cash call at 8 p.m. That's with Kyla or Kayla. And ask her questions, get some more information on REI Cash. Remember, it's important to have that CRM, and REI Cash can be that CRM for you. Now, if you haven't invested into REI Cash and you want cold calling to be your main marketing strategy, I want you guys to get Mojo Dialer, right? And work with somebody in a group because Mojo is $150 a month. I know that's pricey after you get Propstream, after you invest in this, after you have to buy lists. But think of it like that. I'm also sending you guys lists. So that's going to also save you guys a lot of money. So maybe you can invest that into different things like a Mojo Dialer. Now you have Mojo Dialer, you making calls, and now that's going to give you that opportunity to get that 10, 20, 30K deal. All right. So think of all these small investments or these incurring investments as investments, not expenses. These are investments because your goal is to gain, you know, a great profit from it. When you get that profit, invest in these coins. All right. Y'all have a good night, and I'll see y'all Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yes,
And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, join the academy. Somebody in this group, when I post this on YouTube, post your link in my YouTube comments, please, so somebody could join. I want one of y'all to win the cash prize. The first person to get 5 people to sign up, I'm sending you $500. All right. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, post y'all links in the free Facebook group, on YouTube, on your Instagram story. Let's get 1,000 people in this academy, y'all. That's the goal. All right. So I'm gonna talk to y'all. Have a good night.
yes,